Those were simpler times. Now, I was locked in a wrestle-to-the-death contest with Gary, the diaper god of halitosis. And I was losing. I tried to push against him, to force myself upright. It was like pushing against the roof of a tunnel. I twisted sideways, using his own weight to sling him off my back. I crawled away, gasping for breath, and barely had time to get to my feet before he slammed into me again, wrapping his arm around my neck, forcing my face dangerously close to his armpit. I really wished I Technically not true. Shouting. Exercises like running can actually like Gary's quiet Seder. No interference. It's not interference. It's commentary. Every wrestling match has commentary. Their distraction bought me a few seconds, which I'd like to say I used to formulate a master plan. Instead, my thought process was,
Okay.
oh gods, I'm going to die, help, help. This falls short of the criteria for master plan. I tried to shuffle sideways. Gary had me back. I pushed forward with all my weight. I leaned back, hoping to pull him off balance. Even though the guy was half my size, he didn't budge. Going somewhere. With his free hand, punched me in the ribs. The sound that came out of my throat would have alerted any balls constricting somehow radius that I was looking for companionship. Flag on the play. 10-yard penalty. No body blows. That's not wrestling. Shut up, Gary complained. While his attention was divided, I managed to twist out of his headlock. I wrapped my arms around his chest and squeezed with all my might. I tugged and pushed, but I just couldn't budge the guy. He laughed. Having fun? I didn't have the energy to answer. At least he wasn't smashing my face into the pavement yet. As long as I amused him, he seemed to make an absolute fool of myself. Fortunately, that was on my list of superpowers. There had to be a trick to some side of super strength, which wasn't a ridiculous power. Ridiculous antioxidants, crossword puzzles, fiber supplements. I realized I was getting delirious from the pain and the old person odors. My teacher Kyron had once told me that in a life-threatening situation, the most important thing is to stay calm. Once you get into fight or flight mode, you are too scared to think properly. That will get you killed. Unfortunately, I was not calm. I couldn't fight, and I was fresh out of fiber supplements. I tried my ace in the hole. I summoned my anger, channeled it into the pit of my stomach, and reached out for the unlimited power of the sea. We were in Manhattan, just bracketed by major rivers, right next to the Atlantic. Surely I could draw on my father's might, summon that great force to fight for me. I unleashed a primal scream. Halfway across Washington Square Park, a single manhole cover shot into the air. A geyser sprayed the tops of the trees, then fizzled out. That was impressive, Gary said. Now shall we end this? Her tone of concern was the only thing that saved me as I sailed through the air. Annabeth's voice electrified every molecule in my body. My senses went into overdrive. Instead of slamming into the play structure, I twisted in midair, grabbed one of the bars, swung around, pulled my arms out of their sockets. Or, died. I staggered forward. Little globs of light swam in my eyes. Gary scowled at Annabeth and Grover. If either of you interferes again, I will declare this match null and void. I will turn all three of you into desiccated husks. Annabeth crouched, her dagger in hand. Grover gripped her arm, trying to keep her from leaping into the fight. Not that she could hurt old age with a knife, but that wouldn't stop her from trying. As much as I appreciated the sentiment, I couldn't let her take the risk. Over here, Diaper Man, I yelled. I'm your opponent, not her. Gary turned, narrowing his eyes. So you are. Then he charged. Well, I say charged. It was more of a determined hobble. I had time to think. A plan would be really good now. Then he was on me. He tackled me and pushed me backward right into a tetherball pole. My spine creaked, but the pole kept me upright, even gave me some leverage. I locked my hands around Gary's biceps. My arms groaned. My vision dissolved into black and white strobe films. I managed to push Gary forward one step, then two. I was fueled not by strength, but by desperation. And my rally didn't last. Gary clamped his bony fingers around my shoulders. I am here to tell you, shoulders have a lot of nerve endings. Gary found them all. I screamed as he pushed me back against the tetherball pole. The metal began to bend. You have lasted longer than most, the old man conceded. It was a good try. A good try, I thought, my mind drowning in pain. Awesome. I couldn't win, but at least I'd get a participation award for old age. Annabeth could frame the certificate and keep it in her dorm room when she went to New Rome University by herself. My legs trembled. Pressed between Gary and the pole, my ribcage felt like an over-tightened piano frame, ready to snap and implode. I thought about how much pain it was going to cause Annabeth, but I promised I would never leave her again. Together, maybe years from now, old and gray. Wait a minute. I felt some strength come back into my legs. I was still in agony, but maybe I was getting pushed a little more slowly. I remembered something my buddy Jason once told me. In a moment of crisis, he'd had a dream that he was an old man, married to his girlfriend Piper, with a bunch of grandchildren running around. He hadn't taken the dream as an ironclad glimpse of the future. When it comes to old lives, the fates never hand out money-back guarantees. But he told me it was the when he needed it most. That's the day he had the money to feel like it was going to happen. Something to live for. I took my fingers all over the territories. He blunted it sometimes. About a conversation I had with Paul a few months back. I teased him about how he was getting more gray hair every year. He'd said, "Hey, getting older sucks, but it beats the alternative." I didn't really get that at the time. Were the only choices really dying or getting old? When you're a demigod, you worry a lot about staying alive. You hardly ever think about old age. I've been so focused on just making it out of high school, becoming an adult, but maybe that wasn't the ultimate goal. Getting old might be scary and difficult. It involved things I didn't want to think about, like arthritis and varicose veins and hearing aids.